Hi, I'm Stuart Hall. Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
First of all, welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show. You're a producer on a new indie film called The Man with Four Legs, and you
I am.
contacted me on Twitter to see if I'd mind sort of reviewing the film or something, and I thought it'd be maybe a bit more fun to actually get you on the show and have a bit of a chat to you instead. So, welcome. So first of all, can you tell me about the film for anybody that hasn't heard of it yet?
Sure. So it is a sort of a black comedy, and it's all about a guy called James who wakes up from a coma, and everybody that he thinks he knows has no idea who he is, including his wife. And then a group of three young filmmakers decide to follow him around to find out his story and what's happened to him. So he's kind of like an amnesiac fantasist, and the filmmakers sort of go to whatever lengths possible to find out what's happened to him to get their film made, not necessarily care about him.
Now, I've just watched the trailer, and it starts off. It seems to be quite funny, but then it seems to take a darker turn. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, 100%. And we wanted to reflect that in our trailer. So yeah, the first sort of half an hour, 45 minutes is we think is quite funny.
Yeah.
It's quite laddish humor, a bit in-betweeners-esque. But that's to sort of draw in the audience. And then, yeah, we do a little rug pull moment when, okay, we've got you hooked now. You want to find out more. You're a bit invested in the characters. And then, yeah, it's sort of you slip deeper into James's schizophrenic, amnesiac brain. Yeah, so that was intended.
And can you tell me who stars in the film? What's the cast like?
Yeah, so we went through a pretty lengthy process to do casting, and we ended up finding, because it was all about the combination of the actors together, and especially the three boys. You know, that was what we had to find in order for it to work. So we have the amazing, let me just pull everybody up so that I have everybody. Where is it? Here we go. So we have our three main boys. There's Richard Southgate, who plays Angus, and he is the sort of the leader of the three filmmakers. He's everybody knows one of these friends. They're arrogant. He's quite posh. You want to punch him in the face, but he's quite likable.
Yeah.
So that's Richard Southgate. He was in the Borgia TV series from a couple of years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And then we've also then got Danny Ormerod, who plays his sort of sidekick Tom, who again he's the sort of joker of the pack. He's the one with all the best one-liners in the film, and brings that much needed comedic humor element when things start going quite dark. He was in another indie film called Northern Soul, that came out last year maybe. And then our third guy of the filmmakers is Terry Sweeney, who plays Ethan, who is our cinematographer, cameraman of the documentary crew. Those are the three main boys. And then there's, of course, James, who is played by Simon Dobson, who is actually a drama lecturer. Okay. And he hadn't done a lot of acting for a while. He'd been concentrating on teaching and lecturing. But once he read the script, he was hooked, loved the character because it was so deep and meaty. And he was incredible. He was like old school. He would like go off and put headphones in and listen to stuff to get him in the mood for all these scenes. And as soon as he put his his dressing gown on for his costume, he turned into James. He was no longer Simon. It was incredible to watch.
So did that make it awkward at lunchtime, or did he break character?
No, he was one of those that was kind of during the shooting day, he was James. He wasn't Simon. So yeah, that was quite incredible to watch.
And assumedly he stopped doing that now. It's not a full-time thing.
No, he's turned back to Simon. But it's funny how you spend all the casting, and then you spend the shoot days, and then you kind of don't really see them again for a while. The actors, they go off and do their thing. You're sat in the edit suite, and then we all met up about maybe 3 months later to have a drink, and you've been staring at these characters for so long that you forget that the real people are nothing like their characters. Yeah. So we all had a drink with Simon, and he's like this, lovable, friendly, happy, chirpy guy. He's nothing like the crazy man that he plays in the film. So it's cool. Even as the filmmaker, you forget those bits.
And tell me, so you're the producer. How did you get involved with the film? Yeah,
so the writer-director is called Ed Christmas. Great name. And he and I met about 7 or 8 years ago. He comes from a cinematography cameraman background, and so I was looking for somebody to help make a music video and put an ad out online. Found him, and we sort of been working together ever since on music videos, short films, and yeah, we made a short together that won a couple of awards, small awards at festivals, and then he was like, "Oh, I've written this feature. Let's make it." But what was great was that he'd written it from a budget point of view, in that there weren't loads of characters, there weren't loads of locations, and he'd written it from a cinematography point of view, in that he knew how to shoot it most effectively. And because it was super, super duper low budget, he wrote it in a way that this documentary style, so that we didn't have to spend so long getting reverse angles and turning around and doing everything. It was just like one camera, here we go. The one of the 3 boys in the documentary crew will always be holding the camera, and we never broke that. And then those things, that whole found footage or mockumentary style can get quite boring, or has been done. But another clever thing that Ed did was he wrote in the character of Ethan to be a cinematographer, in that even though they were making a documentary, he kept saying, "I want to make this look good." And so that character could bring in the amazing beach scenes that you see in the trailer of the waves rolling over, and it all added to it looking like a fantastic film, which was also due to our actual DOP, Marcus Lundberg, who is just incredible and blew us away.
Yeah, because I've only seen the trailer, but there's some stunning shots in there.
Yeah, exactly. So Ed worked really closely with Marcus to design the lighting and design the color tones, and yeah, we just again, for the budget, for the time we spent, we shot for 15 days in and around London.
Okay.
And we managed to get it all, didn't drop any scenes, and yeah, we're really happy with the final outcome.
And how did you approach filming in London? Were there any sort of considerations for that? Did you have to get special permits, or did you know in advance where you were going to film and all those kind of things?
So yeah, we spent a good 6 months in pre-production, making sure that we had all the locations nailed. We knew what we were doing. My day job is a commercials producer, so I know all about the ins and outs of having to get permits and what you need permits for and what you don't need permits for. Yeah. And so that helped. But I wanted to, even though we were super low budget, I didn't want to guerrilla too many things. I wanted to play by the book and make sure that we weren't going to get in trouble. So yeah, lots of the park scenes we shot in Victoria Park, and we got permission from the film council that looks after Victoria Park.
Okay.
And any shots that we did on the street, we made sure that we did like letter drops that day around the street saying there's going to be filming, and we contacted the police, and there's a couple of violent scenes that we needed police for, and all the driving stuff. We got a low loader, just like a flatbed truck that the car sits on, so that the actors can concentrate on acting, not having to actually drive. Plus, the driver couldn't actually drive, so Danny, who's supposed to be driving, so we did that, and so no, for the most part, we played by the book.
Fantastic. And so, what would you say the challenges of making an indie film from scratch?
You need two things. You need time and money. If you can't get money, you have to give yourself time. And it's taken us 3.5 years from when we wrote it to where we are now, which is self-distribution. We're doing it ourselves. I can cover that in a minute. But yeah, so I'd say time. Just take your time, do all the research you need, and spend all the time in pre-production that you can before you even start shooting with the big cameras. If you have like a little handy cam or a video camera, if you can block out all your scenes, work out exactly what you need to shoot before you go to these locations, it's going to save you so much time.
Absolutely. Which brings us on very nicely to, if somebody wants to watch this film, where and indeed when will they be able to?
So we did the classic thing of trying to shop it around to sales agents and distributors and enter into film festivals, and just got massively disillusioned and horrifically disappointed by the whole thing. Distribution still is geared for big films or medium-sized films. Anything above 1 million even 1 million is counted as low budget these days. So for all of us that are making films, our film cost £50,000 to make, and that was from 2 very lovely and helpful private investors. And so from even getting into festivals, it's all about who you know. You can't just enter a film into a film festival and expect them to accept it, because the predominantly they've picked about 90% of the films that they want to run anyway. So I did lots of research and found out about this aggregator or management site called Distriba, which is based in the US, and they have all the contacts with iTunes, Amazon, Netflix, all these things, and so you pay them a nominal fee, and they can get your film onto the platform that you want it to go on. So we are releasing on iTunes and on Amazon. And it's going to be early Feb next year.
Okay.
So we haven't set an exact date yet, but we just need to work up the pros and cons of BAFTA season, Oscar season. We don't want to get swallowed up with everybody talking about other films. So it's a tricky business trying to sort out a release date, and then we're just going to hit social media, and we're trying to get our followers up on Twitter. And our Facebook likes on our webpage, and so that's what we're doing from now until that release, is just getting the numbers up on social. We're going to give everybody a little sneak peek. We're editing lots of B-roll and some making of featurettes. So yeah, that's the plan. The new year. So if people want to follow our social channels,
where can they find you on Twitter and Facebook and the like? And do you have an official website?
Yes, so the official website is themanwith4legs.com. That has the synopsis, that has the trailer. It's got our incredible original score that was created by Louis Almau. That's got it's got like a 6-piece full orchestra in it. It's amazing. That's our website. Twitter is at TMWFL_film. So the man with 4 legs _film.
Yeah.
And Facebook is TMWFL. So facebook.com/TMWFL.
I must ask, why is it called The Man with 4 Legs?
You got to watch the film for that.
Ooh.
and then it's
Exciting.
yeah, it's kind of what you make of it, because we get asked that question a lot, and after screenings, we like to hear why people think it's called that. So yeah, that's a little tease.
Fantastic. So can you tell me what you're working on next? Obviously, I guess the release of the film up until February. Have you got an idea what you might work on next, or are you solely concentrating on this project at the moment?
Always got fingers in pies. You have to spread yourself a little bit thin until something takes off. There's a couple. Ed is a ferocious writer, so he has about 8 scripts, which not all of them are great, but there's a couple which could definitely work. So yeah, we're kind of in the early stages of prepping for one of those, but that's in like the fundraising stage, which is always the hardest and most laborious and time-consuming part, is trying to get people to give you their money.
Absolutely. And how do you promote? How do you approach that? Have you considered any crowdfunding platforms, or are you doing it sort of independently through private investors?
So we're actually going to do we're planning on starting a Kickstarter for Man with Four Legs, purely on a marketing budget kind of point of view. So we're going to gear up with that actually in the next week or two, because it's all well and good getting our film on iTunes and Amazon, but people don't know it's there. So everybody needs a bit of cash for marketing, so like Facebook ads and promoted tweets and YouTube pre-roll. So we're going to do Kickstarter for that in the next couple of weeks. But the great thing is that people give us money, obviously, but they'll then get a copy of the film. They can watch a digital copy of the film. So it's like a pre-release VIP. Watch the film 2 months before it comes out.
Fantastic. And so will there just be sort of one tier of awards, or are you maybe thinking of having sort of several at different levels?
Yeah, there's going to be loads. There's going to be you'll get a digital copy of the script. You can get a digital copy of the score. Then there's the film. Then there'll be limited edition like poster artwork, full-on posters, all the way up to the classic meet and greet with the director and myself. And then if they want to spend the big bucks, then we'll get all the cast out, and we'll go out for dinner and drinks and a little party. So yeah, more than happy to help people who, because I know that when I was trying to source information and find out about self-distribution, it's tricky. There's not a whole lot of information all in one place. So as we're going through this process, we'd love to share and help other filmmakers who are not quite sure. They might have been through the festival circuit, couldn't find anybody to pick it up. And if they want to, get in touch and need some advice, then give us 20 quid, watch the film, and then we'll help you out.
So there's chances to collaborate with other people too. That's really good. Well, yeah. Thank you very much for your time today. I wish you the very best of luck on The Man with Four Legs. Hope that everybody likes, follows, subscribes all your channels, and gets involved in the crowdfunding as well. And I wish you the best of luck when it's launched next year.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.